Hey. What's your problem, Tom?
Please come back. I'll be good. I promise I'll be good.
I didn't want to lose you. I never wanted to lose my baby.
Are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost.
What the blue blazes are you doing here?
Opal, please, don't slam the door.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't. Quick.
I need your help, for Erica's sake.
But last night, she was able to speak to me. She knew I was here, and when we played the videotape, she recognized Bianca's voice. And she told us she had a dream. Now, that was a real breakthrough.
I know.
Now she's slipping so far away, I'm afraid she'll never come back. We have to find some way to reach her again. Honey, I'm right here. Dr. Gould.
Erica, this is Dr. Gould. Can you hear me?
Sweetheart, it's Mama. Do you remember Dr. Gould?
Mrs. Tyler, you're getting your hopes up prematurely. It may be an involuntary reaction.
An involuntary reaction?
To an irritant in the air, a reaction to the medication.
On the other hand, it may be that she's crying, that she's reaching out, that she's remembering. Sweetheart, would you like to hear the tape that we watched last night with Bianca? I talked to her this morning, and she's just fine, and she sends you her love. She has the lead, or rather the second lead, in a ballet production at her dancing school. Travis is going to make a tape of it and send it to us. But meanwhile, I think it would be nice if we looked at the one we already have. I'd like to see it again. Wouldn't you?
Please get better fast. I miss you a lot. And that's for you. I'm saving up lots of big hugs for when I see you. I hope it's soon. Happy New Year, Mommy. I love you.
Mrs. Tyler, I'm sorry I have to complete my morning rounds.
Oh, yes. I have to go to course.
I'll see you later. The other doctors and I have to consult on how to proceed. We'd like you to be present.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Erica, darling, I want you to know that you're going to be all right. You're going to come back, sweetheart. Yesterday you told me that you had a dream. Can you tell Mommy what that was about?
Look, I know that they'll let you in to see Erica. And since she recognized Bianca's voice on the tape, I was hoping when you visit that you could ask her if she'd like to see me.
Oh,
no,
now
I could be right
slam
outside.
on the brakes
it might
here.
be the
Only
thing that
you would come up with a stunt like that.
What stunt? All I'm asking
You're
is for your
asking
support.
me to go behind Mona's back. You call that playing by the rules?
Because I want to help, and you are Erica's best friend.
That's right. And right now, that woman hasn't got the foggiest idea who she is or where she is, and you have the audacity to ask me to take advantage of her delicate condition.
Look, I know how you feel about me.
You can't begin to know, mister.
I am not proud of my behavior, Opal. I never meant to hurt Erica. But you have to understand that my situation was complicated.
Oh, well, shoot, I'm so glad you said so. That makes everything all right.
I don't expect you to understand, but Erica did.
That's not what she told me.
You were not over in Budapest with us. She has changed her mind, Opal. She accepted my marriage proposal.
That's a crock.
Now, look, the only reason that I went over to Budapest was to tell Erica that I finally told Angelique that I wanted a divorce.
Yeah, and pigs fly.
And she agreed to one. Now that is when I asked Erica to marry me.
And you're going to tell me she flung her arms around you and said yes?
No, not immediately. But Opal, after a few days, a few very wonderful days, she did, yes.
Is that the scout's honest truth? Cross your heart and hope to die, stick a needle in your eye?
Yes. If Erica had been kidnapped, if Helga hadn't have gone berserk, we might very well be man and wife.
Well, color me flabbergasted.
Opal, what has happened to Erica? It's my worst nightmare. I mean, it's like that. It's like I'm living in the past again, only this time it's Erica, not Angelique, that's in another world. She's alone, hurt, lost. I'm not even allowed to talk to her, to see her. I mean, can't you understand what that's doing to me? I feel like she's my wife. Don't you think that Erica might want to see me, that she might respond to my voice the way she responded to Bianca's? I mean, please, all I'm asking is that you talk to her.
No.
Look, for your boy, congratulations.
Don't touch that, Opal. I'm going to kick Mr. Merrick, his present, and his congratulations right out that door.
Yeah, fine. I recognize you from the other day with the baby.
That's right, Gloria Marsh. And you are?
Oh, Ted Orsini.
Orsini.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Oh, well, that's probably because my mother is a patient here at the hospital. She's just down the hall in intensive care.
That's probably what it is. And
Yeah.
I hope she's on the mend.
So do I. Apparently, she was doing okay for a while, but they can't seem to stabilize her heartbeat.
So you're camping out here?
Yeah, everything but the tent, the fire, and the marshmallows.
Can't be too comfortable.
It's not, but we're from out of town. And I'm really all my mother has, so I've got to be here.
I understand that. You know, I have a very good friend here at the hospital. She's a patient advocate.
Excuse me?
She works with patients and their families. In case you have any kind of questions about treatments or prognosis or anything like that, she can cut right through the red tape.
And perform miracles on weekends, right?
No, I'm serious, especially since you're from out of town. You know, you should talk to somebody who knows.
Well, that's nice of you, but
No.
I'm fine.
You should talk to her. She's a really good girl. Her name is,
Oh, damn it. Can't
What's
believe
wrong?
it. My watch has stopped. Excuse me, what time do you have?
10:20.
I was afraid of that. Look, I hate to be rude, but they only give me 10 minutes with my mother out of every hour, so I've really got to go.
I understand. Nola Orsini, right? I'll check in on her later.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And, after your visit, why don't you try to get a little bit of sleep in a regular bed? You look a little frayed around the edges.
Thank you. You look terrific.
Oh, Jack, whatever's bugging you, this isn't the answer. When you overdo the way you've been doing the last hour and a half, accidents happen. Look, I'm allergic to lawsuits, all right?
Well, I'll tell you what then, Tom. Why don't you run back to the little office there, type up a release form, and I'll sign
Jack,
it.
knock it off. Hit the shower.
Is that an order, Coach?
No, just consider that a request from a friend who'd like to see you stick around for another 30, 40 years.
Hey, whoa, you and the orange card. Hang on a second. Oh, wait a minute.
Excuse me?
Sorry.
I'm sorry you're sorry.
No, I thought you were somebody else.
You're serious?
Yeah.
Because if you want my phone number, you can just ask.
No, I mean, thanks, but no, I thought you were somebody that I'd only seen once before.
Just once, and you're this anxious to see her again?
Sounds crazy?
No, I think it sounds sweet.
Sweet. That's exactly the last thing I wanted it to sound.
She must be pretty spectacular. Hey, I hope you find her.
Thanks. I'm sorry.
But if you bomb out, I'm Sandy. Sandy Hoover. I work out here most mornings.
Sandy Hoover. Okay, well, duly noted, Sandy. Thanks. Again, I'm sorry. Tom. Listen, about that before, I'm sorry.
Forget it.
I've been kind of a wreck all week. I know it's no excuse.
You've always been a man who's been pretty much in control, Jack.
Yeah, well, Tom, this control thing is a little bit overrated. I mean, after all, what has it got me? Nothing. Not one damn thing.
You're not welcome here, Merrick. Consider that an insult.
Yeah, well, look, Mr. Cortland, I am leaving, but please, won't you both accept this as a gift from Erica?
The man's nerves is boundless. You think you can bribe us with a child's gift? We're on to you, Merrick.
You're supposed to be Erica's friends.
We are devoted to that young woman.
Yeah, well, if that's true, then you would want to help her. Somebody has got to reach her. And Opal, I think that I'm that somebody.
And you came here thinking that Opal would arrange it.
You better clear out.
Look, Opal, just one more thing. When I told you that Erica and I were engaged...
It wasn't true.
That was true. That part of it is. But it wasn't Helga that prevented us from being married. Erica found out that I lied to her about what was going on in my marriage with Angelique.
Oops.
Opal, I hated lying to her, but in my mind, the marriage was in name only.
And Erica found out that it was just a little bit more than that. Boy, I tried to tell her that all along. She wouldn't believe me.
Well, she believed Edmund.
And she gave you the old heave-ho. Well, good for her.
Yes, I am totally responsible for Erica breaking off the engagement. That's true. And you were both right. I have been behaving like a manipulative, lying jerk, and my coming here only proves that once again. But I'm going to tell you something, Opal. I do love Erica, and I know that she still loves me.
Yeah, well, you can see what your loving and your caring has done for Erica so far. I think you've done enough, Merrick.
My congratulations were sincere.
I didn't want to lose you.
Ted? What is it, darling? What's wrong?
You just lie back. Go back to sleep.
You look strange.
I had the dream again.
Oh,
No,
Ted.
it was something else this time. Something different. Something new. There was a voice. A woman's voice. Listen. The dream. The dream is always the same. Always. It never changes. But today, for some reason, just after I woke up, I distinctly heard a woman's voice.
Voice? My voice?
No, it couldn't have been there. There was an accent.
A foreign accent?
Southern, I think.
Well, would you remember what the voice said?
She said, I never meant to lose you. And this is the strange part. I heard the voice after I woke up, so it couldn't have been part of the dream. It was a memory.
No, darling, don't you think that...
No, listen, for the first time in 2 years, I remember something.
Darling, you have been so worried about me.
No.
That's why the dream came back.
That's not it.
A woman's voice saying she was afraid to leave you. Sweetheart, you have been so afraid that I would leave you.
No, that's not it. And, Mother, you've got to stop talking like that. You are not going anywhere. The important thing is, I heard the voice after I was awake. She was crying. And I think she was crying because she loved me.
Darling, do you remember anything else? Think back.
She called me her baby.
I knew it. I knew it. You let that man get to you.
Oh, hush.
Oh, Opal, now we all know that just after a woman gives birth, she's at her most vulnerable. Her hormones are in an uproar. Her emotions go haywire.
Palmer, there is nothing wrong with my emotions, my hormones. I'm just trying to think.
Yes, about what that lying Russian told you. If you give that 1 ounce of credence,
well, Palmer, I mean, people are capable of change if they really want it bad enough. I mean, look at me. I changed, didn't I?
You can't compare yourself to Marek.
Well, you know, when I hold our new baby in my arms, I look into his face, and I just can't help but think about Tad and what happened to Tad, what I let happen.
Now, don't bring all that.
No, sometimes I look in the mirror and I say, Opal, you don't deserve another child. Not after the way you let Ray Gardner get away with mistreating that little boy of yours.
Now, don't start off like that, please.
You know, when Ray came to me and told me that Dad had run away, I must have known somewhere deep down inside that he was lying. I didn't want to face it, but I had to know that he had abandoned our little baby. Oh, God, forgive me. I guess somewhere I just figured that wherever Tad was, he was better off than with me and with Ray.
Oh, hush now, please.
But can you imagine Tad's terror? I mean, being dropped off in that middle of that state park, just left there all by his lonesome.
None of that was your fault.
Of course it was my fault. I was terrified of Ray. Well, we were all scared of him, but, I mean, Dad's the one who got the worst of it. He's the one he really took his anger out on. Oh, that was a pretty poor excuse for a mother then. But I am not like that anymore.
Well, don't you think I know that?
Well, then you can't just sit there and tell me people are not capable of change, Palmer, because I'm living, breathing proof of the fact that they are.
You're a far cry from Dmitri Marek. I mean, you have soul, you have conscience. That man is a phony. He's just as transparent as that window.
Well, it doesn't matter what he said, it's how he said it. He touched my heart today, Palmer, for the first time. Well, Dmitri Marek touched my heart.
Now, that just shows how slick he is.
No, I'm going to listen to my instincts this time. If I'd listened to them last time, you know, Tad might not have ended up the way he did. But I was a coward. I let Ray call all the shots. Heck, half the time I was afraid he was just going to kill me, and the kids other half the time I was afraid he would leave us. But the bottom line is that a mother is supposed to... She's supposed to protect her babies, and I will go to my grave knowing that I let Tad down.
Well, I can't fathom what this has to do with Dmitri Marek.
Don't you see? I just want to be sure that I don't let anybody down again, especially somebody that I love. And something tells me that Dmitri is on the level.
Where are you going?
Well, there's something that I gotta do.
That child upstairs needs you.
Oh, Palmer, Ann Lee and Flossie are here, and I won't be gone long.
Your place is with that child.
My place?
Oh, please, you know what I mean.
Palmer, hasn't anything I have just said sunk in? I'm a different woman now. I'm able to take care of a baby and still make time for my friends. So just can all that retro sexist stuff, would you?
Erica, I know you can hear me, and I know that you're going to recover. There are some things that only a mother knows. Do you remember when Bianca had Reye's syndrome and the doctors were trying to prepare us for the worst, and you said, no, she's going to get well, and she did. And you said it was because she was just like her mother, that she was a fighter. You know, honey, lying here in this bed, you look just like a little girl. Now, you are going to get better. You take all the time that you need, but you're going to come back to us. Sweetheart, Mommy has to go out for a few minutes. I'm going to talk to the nurses, make a few phone calls, and then I'll be right back.
Mona, how is she? Is there any improvement?
I thought you finally understood that you were to stay away from her.
Mona, I had to come see how she was doing.
You were going to sneak into her room.
No. I was waiting to see you.
Dmitri, I wasn't born yesterday.
Please, has she said anything more? Is there any change since this morning?
It's as if last night never happened.
I'm so sorry. I thought that...
I played Bianca's tape for her several times, but there was nothing. No nod, no blinking, nothing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go speak with her doctors.
Yes, of course.
Dmitri, there's no reason for you to hang around here, but if you insist, please wait in the waiting room. I don't want you hanging around my daughter's room.
Whatever you say. I was thinking of calling Bianca's father again. And possibly a visit.
Mother, I want...
Tom, excuse me. About before, I was out of line. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's forgotten.
Well, you're a good friend, and that's no reason for me to dump all my frustrations.
Hey, what are friends for? You want to talk about it? Juice is on me.
Wouldn't mind doing that, Tom. To tell you the truth, I wouldn't even know where to start. I mean, it's not just one thing. If it was just one thing, I could get a handle on it. I feel like a walking, talking bag of cliches.
Sounds kind of serious.
Yeah, deadly. No, I was out driving the other night trying to think about things, and I wasn't paying any attention to where I was going or how fast I was going, and I hit a slick spot in the road. Lost control of the car for a couple of seconds.
Was anyone hurt?
No, thankfully nobody was hurt, but I deserved to be.
But you shook up about it, huh?
Yeah. You know that old saw about your life passing in front of your eyes when you think you're going to die? That happened. It actually happened. I looked at my life. Boy, it was never turned out the way I expected it to. I mean, look at me, Tom. I'm a lawyer. In a double-breasted suit with a matching tie and pocket hanky here. And bachelor approaching middle age, and I spend New Year's Eve sitting at home by myself drinking sparkling water instead of having champagne with a beautiful woman. And of working out instead of hanging out. And always trying to do the right thing.
What are you trying to tell me? You think you've become dull?
Yeah, can you keep that a secret between the two of us?
Hey, look, Jack, dull guys don't sprint across the room to Sandy.
You saw that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought you were somebody I knew. You ever miss the old days, Tom? You ever miss just sitting having a beer with the guys, Mayo bonding, hanging out, you know, telling lies, trying to pick up women?
Getting in fights.
Yeah, that too. All of it.
No, Jack, I can't even remember the old days. That's why I'm in AA.
Well, I remember him, Tom. I just wonder what the hell happened to me. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I just can't figure out a way to deal with the frustration. I feel like there's a 500-pound sumo wrestler sitting on my chest. So, I think maybe I'll go out and get drunk, pick some woman up. And then I remember that I've learned over these years that getting drunk and having a one-night stand doesn't make me feel a bit better in the morning. I just feel emptier.
You know, I was kind of in that spot myself not too long ago, if you remember.
Yeah, but you were lucky enough to find Livia.
I know, so that's all I'm trying to tell you. Things can get better, and they will.
Yeah, maybe not for everybody.
You know, I know a lot of guys who'd switch places with you in a minute.
No, you don't, Tom. Not if they knew the whole picture. No, you don't.
What triggered this? What's going on?
Bet you're here long enough. Listen, I've been a good friend to listen to. Yeah, I've got a lot of things going on today. I've got, it looks like it's going to shape up to be a pretty big day. So
how come? What's up?
Well, I've got to file a continuance. I have 3 wills I have to probate, and Palmer Cortland wants to take a meeting with me. So, hey, who could ask for anything more?
Darling, come over here and sit by me. I've been thinking, I want to run a scenario by you.
Okay.
Suppose somewhere along the way, you met a woman who saw something special in you and who gave you a ray of hope. And maybe she was the accomplice of whoever abducted you. And it's this woman's voice that you've been hearing because you came to rely on her. She was comforting to you.
She sounded scared, like she really cared about me.
Oh, darling. Anyone who had ever spent time with you would have had to care for you.
You're prejudiced.
Now, stay with me on this. Suppose whoever abducted you had second thoughts. Maybe the police were closing in, and they had to set you free and abandon you, but that upset this woman.
Why wouldn't I remember anything else?
You were such a happy-go-lucky child. Maybe you won her over, and she couldn't bear to leave you behind.
So you think that this woman, this
I
voice
think
must...
this woman could have been someone who was taken with you, someone who worried about you.
Just not enough to keep me.
She might have been at the mercy of whoever abducted you just as much as you were. I think it's just as well you don't remember how you were treated. But I know this much. Whoever this woman was, she couldn't have truly loved you, or she would never have left you to fend for yourself.
Well, I'm going to be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, my little dumpling. Yes, yes. Oh, now don't you be crying. It's all right, I'll be back. Yeah. Mommy's best friend just had a little hard time right now, and I'm going to try and see if I can help her, that's all, okay? Yeah. Yeah, someday when you have friends, you know, you're going to see just how precious, how important they are. Yeah. Yeah, you know, my granddaddy, he used to say to me, Opal, there are 2 kinds of folks in this world. There are those that you can count on and those that don't count at all. Yeah. And you just want to try to have your friends be from the first kind and not even shed a single tear over the others. That's right.
That was pretty good advice then, wasn't it? Pretty good advice now, too. Yes, you just listen to your mama, my darling. Yeah. And when it comes to picking friends, you stick with the true blues. All right. Now, I gotta scoot, but I'm gonna be right back. Yes, I am. Don't squawk. Don't squawk. You're gonna learn that when your mama leaves, she'll always be back. Oh, yeah, she'll always be. Yeah, she will. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't you cry. Don't you cry. It's all right. Yeah, it's all right.
Another attorney?
Yes, a tried and true expert in child custody.
And just who might that be?
Clinton Burbeck.
Big name.
Yes, the biggest. He'll be calling you soon for your files.
Does Dixie know about this, Palmer?
You're off the case, Jack.
That doesn't answer my question. I asked you, does Dixie know about
No,
this?
she doesn't know, but when I do tell her, I'm sure she'll be relieved to know that when she goes back into the court, she'll be represented by competent counsel. The way you blew that hearing...
I did not blow that hearing, Palmer.
She doesn't have her son, does she? I realize Dixie wouldn't want to fire you herself, but I also know that she would do anything to regain custody of her child. And that means Clinton Burbeck. Oh, it's nothing personal, Jack. I mean, you've handled other tough cases ably enough, but Junior's custody is very, very important. I just couldn't live with myself if I kept you on.
Let me tell you something, Palmer. There's two reasons that Adam Chandler got Adam Jr. One, Adam Chandler's a pig. And two, that judge was taken in by him. Those are the only two reasons.
Yes, well, we'll pay you anything you think that we owe you. But I can be spared the lame excuses. I don't have all day.
You don't owe me anything, Palmer.
Ah, then you agree that Dixie's better off in Burbeck's hands.
Whatever you think. Whatever you want. You're the boss.
Talking about the dream upsets you. I'm sorry.
Oh, darling, talking things over with my son never upsets me. I'm fine.
I'm fine, too.
Mr. Orsini, you've overstayed your welcome.
Impossible.
You know the rules.
Don't move. Don't move a muscle. It's uncanny. Huh? I mean, people must tell you all the time. I mean, you're sick of hearing it, aren't you?
Hearing what?
Oh, come on. Don't play with us. I mean, did you bear an uncanny resemblance to Ingrid Bergman? I mean, what is it? The eyes or the mouth?
Yes, I've been trying to figure out who you resemble. Yes.
Yes. And it just amazes me that you chose to be a nurse when you could have been anything. A world-famous actress or a model. That is dedication.
That is dedication.
I just felt it was my calling.
Oh, well, we're grateful. Oh, believe me. Nurse Irene. Beautiful name. Oh, I know you're busy, but my mother really is trying to keep up her strength, and breakfast was not so appetizing, to say the least. Do you think by any chance that there might be some fruit or some pudding down in the kitchen?
I'll check.
You are a saint.
Would you like some coffee, Mr. Orsini?
Black, 2 sugars. You're a sweetheart, thank you. And a dead ringer for Ingrid Bergman, I swear.
You are good.
I didn't do anything.
You just charmed Pine Valley's own Nurse Ratched.
And what would a lovely little angel of mercy like you know about conning someone?
You would be surprised. And I resemble Marilyn Monroe, right?
Just around the edges. Besides, she did kind of look like,
Bergman, Ingrid Bergman.
Ingrid Bergman.
Yes.
Yes. I believe they have the same shoe size. Hello, Miss Orsini. I'm Gloria Marsh. How are you feeling today?
Much better, thank you. Oh, Martha, come on in.
Good morning, Nola. Busy place?
I will be finished in just a moment. If you'd like to wait outside.
Actually, I'd like to talk to Ted, if I may.
I just saw Mona.
And?
The docs gave me the go-ahead to visit Erica.
I'm glad.
But this visit is for me, Dimitri. I'm not here to plead your case.
If you need me, you'll know where I'll be.
Well, I finally get an audience with you, madam. You know, you're harder to see than the Queen of Sheba. Well, would you just get a gander at me? I have melted about a ton of weight off of this old frame. Oh, honey. Oh, honey, wait until you see my baby boy. He was born on Christmas Eve. Yeah, some presents, I guess, just can't wait until Christmas Day. I didn't even make it to the hospital. He was born right in Cortland Manor. And guess who did the honors? Yeah, none other than my very beloved love bug. Oh, can you believe it? I wish you could have seen him. Yeah. Everything went kind of crazy that day. There was a blizzard, and then there was the car stuck in the driveway, and no, my contractions, they were coming fast and furious. And I don't know who was more scared, Palmer or me, but, well, he delivered that baby just like he was a seasoned professional. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to have to ask for a refund from the obstetrician. Oh, honey. You just gotta get better, you hear? I miss you so much. I need my best girlfriend back. I got so much to tell you. Please, honey, please, won't you just talk to me?
May I help you?
Yes, please. I'd like you to issue me a ticket, please.
Where to, sir?
Rio by the Seal. First class, one way.
And I wish he'd stop fussing over me.
Oh, I don't know. A lot of mothers would love to have that kind of attention.
Oh, he's a wonderful son, but he spends much too much time here.
You know, I have a very good friend here at the hospital, and I bet if you and I put our heads together, we could make Ted realize that he doesn't need to be here every minute.
You know, I'd appreciate that. He's either working or worrying about me. He needs to spend time with people his own age and have a little fun.
I'm sure if that's what he really wanted, he wouldn't have a problem.
He is attractive, isn't he?
Yes, attractive he is.
Gloria?
Yes.
How long have you lived in Pine Valley?
For about a year.
Do you like it here?
Very much. I was originally from Illinois, but this town seems much more like home to me.
Would you ever have time to show Ted around?
Oh, Mr. Orsini, I would love to, but I'm engaged.
Oh, indeed you are. That's very nice. Well, what about your friend? Is she available?
Nola's looking much better.
And she's going to stay that way.
She's one of my best friends in the world. There's nothing I wouldn't do for her.
She knows that, Lionel. So do I.
The last thing that I would ever want to do is to cause her more upset.
Yeah.
It's about the will. This is very awkward. You know what she wants me to do, but there are certain unique circumstances.
Thank you for the tactful approach, Lionel. But the truth is, you don't really believe that Nola's my mother.
Well, now, you can't really tell that much from this picture, but I don't lie. He is one beauty of a baby. Kind of reminds me of those baby pictures you showed me of Bianca. Well, of course, she was just downright gorgeous, but your mother told me that Bianca made a videotape she sent you and that how grown up she is. You know, I'd love to watch that videotape with you sometime, honey. You haven't heard a word I've said, have you? Well, honey, Dimitri came to see me a little bit ago, and he told me how much he loves you. And hang on to your hat here, but I believed him. Did you hear that now, girlfriend? I believed that handsome rascal. Now, I brought along a picture of him. It's just from one of them trashy magazines, but it's a pretty good likeness. Here,